Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Hell Night with Linda Blair. Now, I watched this on video back in the day. When I was a student studying cinema and media, I lived in an old sort of hotel building, like Gothic sort of old hotel building, across the road from a um, a movie land actually, like a video store. So I would basically rent movies all the time, not just because I was a student studying film, but also just because I loved films. I had like a 14 films for $14 weekly films sort of thing, and I just get all horror movies. So I went for all these old 80s horror movies, and one of the ones that I saw and loved was Hell Night. And I didn't just watch it because Linda Blair was in it, just because it looked good. And it's one of those films that I watch again and again and again because of the atmosphere. And I've seen the first half an hour or so of this film about 100 times, but I've probably only watched the whole film all the way through a couple of times. Not that it's bad, not that it's got a bad ending, because some films, they have this really, especially horror films, have this really great atmosphere in the beginning to sort of draw you in, and then it sort of falls apart when they sort of reveal the killer or explain the situation or try and, But a lot of films like The Terror, I just tend to just watch them because I like the atmosphere, and then I never end up watching the whole film. But this one, obviously, I watched it all back in the day, and it does have a good ending. The story does run through fairly consistently. It's got it's also got the actor from Friday the 13th Part 4, the pretty boy who is singing Tangerine in the shower, and Jason kills him. And he's like the romantic interest, and there was a lot of apparently speculation back in the day whether they would kill him or whether he'd live and so forth. And the actor who was in this also did a podcast recently for Friday the 13th Part 4, and he talked about this film as well, so that was interesting. So sort of a 2-for-1. But it starts off basically students basically being hazed. It's like some big night, I can't remember, Hell Night. It's something that they do, and it's like a big bonfire and everything, and they take a bunch of pledges or students or whatever up to this old mansion where there's a legend that the guy who built it, his wife and him had a whole bunch of deformed monster children that they locked themselves away in the house with out of shame, and eventually they all died. And the legend is, he killed his wife, who had borne him all these monsters, and killed all his children, and then killed himself, and that the mansion was haunted. Now eventually there's a monster that's involved. I kind of ruined it already, won't go too much into it, but it's actually the makeup for one of those characters is really quite good, and I found it really scary and well shot, and I just remember being particularly impressed and feeling like this character, had he met a slightly different ending, could have been another Jason Voorhees and could have had that sort of film franchise sort of thing, because he just was such a great makeup, and I thought he was really scary looking, and the story really worked. I'm surprised there was only ever one Hell Night. As far as I know, there was no sequels and no remakes. Although I didn't research that, I just feel like I would have heard if there was. But Linda Blair is great in it. All the other characters are students. There's only 4 of them. Yeah, a boy and a girl, and a boy and a girl. The first 2, of course, go fairly quickly. Other students who are actually trying to prank them in the house, because of course they don't think it's haunted and don't realise what's happening. It's not actually haunted by a ghost, sorry, but I mean it is haunted by ghosts in a way. But they end up being killed. So a few people do end up being killed, but the main sort of characters is just the 4. And the last 2, Linda Blair's character and the guy from Friday the 13th Part 4, they're sort of the main characters that sort of, survive till the end. But yeah, it's just a really great film. I just love talking about horror movies, and some of these great films I just loved. I saw them back in the day on video, and then I bought them on DVD and watched them later, and then I sort of would return to them, some of them regularly because of the atmosphere and just enjoying them. And this is one of those ones that I always go back to, that I'll put it on, and I really enjoy the first start of it, and then I'm like, oh, don't watch all the way through, because one of the problems I have with horror movies was I used to watch them too much and watch them to death, basically. I did it with Friday the 13th, Halloween, Jaws. That's why I only watch them on certain holidays or dates. So I only watch them maybe once or twice a year, so that way I don't sort of, they sort of not watching them for a while, you sort of forget what happens. You're sort of able to rewatch them a bit, so they sort of prolongs them. So I normally watch Jaws on like July 4th, like, you know, that sort of holidays featured in the film. Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th, Halloween on Halloween, stuff like that. You know, My Bloody Valentine on Valentine's Day, April Fool's Day on April Fool's Day. And there are a lot of films that capitalise, horror films that capitalise on dates and events, so it's not hard to find ones that fit. But I'm still talking, it's been 5 minutes. It's a great film, I love it, and I just enjoy talking about it. So if you haven't seen it, you should see it. And yeah, feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you thought of it. Thanks, bye.